The top comment with over 1,000 upvotes says this: you know, this popped up on his feed because it literally feeds him Nazi propaganda based on his interests, and he chows down. Right. The fact that a response to one of my tweets showed up in my feed is evidence that I have Nazi interests. That's the claim. And thousands of people agreed with it.
Yeah, so
over on Facebook, a leftist account declared,
Matt, talk to me.
Yeah, some of the claims that he's making, I see the point where he's coming from of defending himself as far as, defending himself against, we can say, propaganda of people wanting to just try to bring you down and make up stories that maybe the story isn't there from it. You know what I mean? So he's defending that. He's defending like the cancel mob, right? So I get that part of what he's speaking about. The beginning part where he's trying to say like, well, what is native? That part was dumb. Like you didn't even have to go there. That was crazy. But like the fact that he's defending himself from the cancel mob, nothing is wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? Nothing is wrong with that, especially if your intentions was pure and you weren't trying to post this, which, I mean, I don't really know this guy. I don't watch this guy at all. Do you watch him?
I've watched 2 of his episodes, one because he had responded to or reacted to a video of mine. But yeah. I've seen clips. I've not really watched. He's a pretty intelligent, well-spoken guy. That's why the comment about being native, given his level of insight and his ability to articulate and speak coherent, linear arguments, given that, I know that what we're dealing with this argument for being native, we're dealing with something that is deeply irrational, emotional, and concerning. And frankly, it is the kind of irrational thinking that made it possible for people to enslave blacks by the million and whip their flesh until it was dripping in blood, and then go to sleep with your wife and your kids in that house, knowing that you've destroyed human beings at such a level that they wouldn't even stand up for themselves. And then maybe one of them tried to run away because that one realized that you were a devil that had personally created hell for them. And in them running away, you recaptured them, and then you had a picnic wherein you castrated the male, you hung them, and their dead body dangled from a tree as strange fruit, while you and your family dined below, thinking nothing of it because you're so inhumane due to the subconscious driving forces in your psyche. I can see that within him because on this topic, he's become completely irrational.
Yeah, I would say that just the fact that he wanted to, change the definition of native, it actually negated some of his stances now. Like it took away the validity of what his stance is, like the truth of, well, I didn't know that it was a swastika. It kind of takes that truth away. He could have just did a response like, listen, man, I didn't know what this was. I seen a picture, posted it, da-da-da. He didn't have to mention any native or, trying to pose a theory like, well, what is native? Is anyone really native? Like, well, then what is this? Did you really know that this was a swastika? Right. Did you not really know? It's like, come on, man. You could have just made a response video and left that part out.
I think that's the challenge that a lot of the colored peoples of the earth, if you will, have had with these types, these kind of devils, is that these folks are very clever. Many of them are intelligent, but they're very clever. But people often use the word diabolical and sinister nowadays, but they don't use it appropriately. They use it colloquially. And this guy and his type are diabolical. They are sinister. So they're really playing in your face and they're lying to you, trying to convince you of their lies. So they use doubt and try to expand doubt and maintain their veneer of morality. So he's basically saying, well, I could have not saw it, so I didn't. It's possible for me to have not seen it, so I didn't. Wherein, in actual fact, there are a lot of dog whistles. Like, for example, the idea that we don't accept refugees unless they're white. That's a dog whistle to give a kind of an elbow to let people know, like, hey, like, we do believe that whites must be the majority in America. And to ensure that, we're going to import them. We're going to import whites. And this is not a new thing. This happened in Latin America as well. Places like Argentina. Where'd you get all those Europeans? Fresh from Germany, fresh from Europe. And it was an intentional policy, even in the DR. It was an intentional policy to establish a certain complexion of the country. And they blocked immigration from certain colored places, and they increased it from Europe, even to marginalize the natives, the Maya, the Aztecas, the Tainos, to reduce them in numerical meaning. So this is not a new thing.